Hello friends, welcome to my channel Sushant Chess Spice. Today we are going to look at the next endgame study. We are at the 8th lesson of our endgame study. So today we are going to look at a position where we see how the rook fares against this pawn on the 4th rank. So the black pawn is coming to the d1 square. We see the white rook is attacked and the white king is not really well placed. It's behind the pawn and it looks away from the pawn. Of course, as we have seen in every study, just there is one move or one idea which works. So it is white to play and win over here. So if we understand the basics of king and pawn endgame very well, then finding the solution would be easy. Otherwise, you will see that in most of the lines, white is struggling. The most obvious move happens to be the move rook d1. The rook goes away and it gives white enough time to bring his king and attack the pawn. But here what we see, after the move d4, black maintains the opposition. Here it is more about the opposition. The black king is able to maintain the opposition. Now the white king needs to attack the pawn from the side. But after the move kd7, kd5, kc7, kc5, the position simply repeats. If the king goes away to b7, then it can't come from the side. So after the move kc4, kc6, d3, we see that after kd6, again black has the simple move kd4, taking the opposition, and soon the king will come to e3 and e2, attack the rook and pawn reaches d2. So let's say after the move ke6, ke3, kd5, ke2, rook is attacked and white is one move short. He is not getting enough time to attack the d pawn. After the move d4, we see that there is no other way to make progress for white. If the rook now moves to d2 instead of kd7, then the king comes closer and immediately attacks the rook. Now after kd6, ke3, first attacking the rook, rook goes to d1, d3, kd5, and we see the similar situation. Again after ke2, the rook has to move and the pawn reaches the 7th rank. Best what white can do is give up his rook for the pawn and the game becomes drawn. The move rook h4 or rook a4 doesn't help at all. White is trying to cut the king on the 4th rank, but because of the poor placing of the white king, black just does d4. If we try to give opposition and give check, then king improves all the time. d3, rook check, king e3, ke5, d2, and we see that the pawn is already threatening to queen. So after check, king e2, and now no time for playing ke4. The position is simply drawn. ke4, d1 queen, rook h2, ke1, and rook check, and the rook has to take the queen. So here the only way for white is to snatch the opposition from black, and which he is able to do in a reverse move order. First he goes rook d2, very important move, and now after any move by black, let's say ke4 or d4, in both cases we will see that white will be able to either gain the opposition or attack the pawn quickly. After the move ke4, simply kd6, attacking the pawn, forcing the pawn to move. King comes to c5, again attacks the pawn, forces it to move, and king c4. And after ke3, we see the rook takes the pawn and the pawn is lost. So the only attempt is to play d4. And now what we see? Again, black has managed to keep the opposition, but here comes the move rook d1, which snatches the opposition. Now he forces black on the move in the same position which was there before. But now the rook's distance from the king is more, and by the time the king attacks the rook, white king will be able to attack the pawn. Let's look at both the variations. After kd5, kd7, now the king has to move to one of the side. kc4, kd6, d3, ke5, kc3, ke4, attacking the pawn, d2 and ke3, and the pawn is attacked and the pawn is lost. After the move ke4 also, just kd6, d3, kc5, ke3, kc4, d2 and kc3. So the king comes from the other side of the pawn, and we see that white is able to win the game. So here in these positions we see that the basic understanding of our king and pawn endgame plays a major role. I hope you are finding these lessons useful. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thanks for your time.